Welcome to this BVTV Global Network Trilogy, coming to you from the UK studios of BizVision. I'm your host, Malcolm Gallagher. My guest and I have both been in tourism and hospitality, food and drink for a good number of years. I'm passionate about businesses in the sector, and also I know the importance of my guest's specialist skill in food tourism. To me, a vast opportunity for growth by those businesses. However, hospitality has been through a troubling time recently, with survival or standing still the name of the game rather than recovery and growth. It's time to awaken to opportunity, which is why I'm so delighted to welcome today the founder and executive director of the World Food Travel Association. Welcome, Erik Wolf. Hello, Erik.
Hi, Malcolm. Pleasure to be here.
I'm delighted to be. I've followed you for years, and at last I'm getting to talk to you almost in the flesh, but as far as we can go. Whereabouts are you talking to us from today?
I'm based just outside of Malaga, Spain.
Oh, nice. Yes, except you get a few mosquitoes, don't you, biting there?
Indeed, yes. The mozzies, they died down for a little bit and then they've come back, and we're all waiting for that time when they just go away completely.
Yes, bad here. Right. Erik, welcome to your BVTV Trilogy of 3 videos. I'm looking forward to you providing viewers and listeners with inspiration and letting them see resilient and conscious opportunity. So for episode 1, can I ask you a multi-part question? Sure. What is food tourism? What is food tourism, as opposed to, say, agri-tourism, visiting farm shops? Why should it be such an important part of the whole tourism and hospitality sector? And how can food service businesses achieve strong recovery and resilience through it?
Well, that is probably the number one question that we get. And even 20 years into founding the industry, people still want to know what food tourism is. And there's also a lot of confusion around the terminology. So food tourism, a few years ago, we embraced the definition that it's traveling for a taste of place in order to get a sense of place. And when you think about it, it really is about the pursuit of flavor. And there are government offices and academics who will have these multi-paragraph definitions of food tourism or culinary tourism or gastronomy tourism. Depends on where you are in the world as to the phrase that you use. But we use food tourism or food and beverage tourism. It always includes beverages, simply because it's too cumbersome to say food and beverage tourism. It'd be Christmas time before we finish that sentence. Yes. So it is food tourism, and it is really, traveling for what's unique and memorable in the dishes around the world. And people might say, well, that sounds like a true foodie thing or maybe a gourmet thing, and it's really not. The people who profess to have a gourmet profile are actually in the minority, and it is the people who like the authentic and innovative or special dishes that they can't get at home, or they can't get good ones at home. It's those kinds of dishes that people will travel for. And we know in the 2020 Food Travel Monitor research that we published that 53% of leisure travelers now choose a destination first based on food. So those were 53% of just general leisure travelers, not food lovers. So we didn't see the data that way. And when you think that over half of travelers are traveling because of the food and drink that they know they'll experience in the destination, that's tremendous. And that's up from, I think it was 47% 4 years before that. So it's on a steep growth curve.
Yeah, it's exciting. Go on.
Yeah.
So how's it going to work for food services?
A lot of times businesses, especially the small independent restaurants or even some of the larger restaurants, don't understand that it's about the unique and memorable. And so they will do things like have a menu with all these different kinds of dishes on it. Or my favorite one is they will provide a menu that has all of the favorites that you could have got at home, like chicken tikka, fish and chips, pizza, burgers, ribs, whatever it is, because they think that whether you're American or British or German, that you want that food when you're on holiday. And that is not the case. Of course, there are plenty of those travelers who can't see any further, and that's all they want. They just want their sausages and their beer and whatever, and that's fine. But the trend is increasingly going in the direction of, hey, let's experience something local. Let's see what the locals eat. Let's see how they cook, how they prepare things. And businesses that really focus on that can, first of all, make more money, which is an important trait that everybody is trying to figure out how to make more money right now. But it also gives them a bit of a marketing edge as well. So if you have a restaurant or a cafe that just serves ordinary stuff, there's no reason for me to go there. There's no reason for me to talk about it. I forget that meal like yesterday's weather. But it's when the businesses focus on the local foods and drinks, and when they do it well, that really gets noticed. And the other side of the equation, it's not just the individual businesses, but it's the tourism offices and the local governments too. And they can use food and beverage as unique selling propositions to woo people to their destination. Now, if you can imagine that 53% of travelers now are choosing destinations based on food and drink, that means that there's a lot of competition out in the world. Should we go to Thailand? Hawaii. There's all these different places where you can try different foods and drinks. And that means that the onus is really on the tourism offices now to get their ducks in a row and really showcase what is unique and memorable. Sometimes we see destinations will talk about the 180 cuisines they have. That's not interesting for travelers, because I'm not going to go to Italy and look for Chinese food. And that's really what it boils down to.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, I have to confess that having followed you for all the years, my wife runs a Victorian tea room here in Northumberland, and I pinched a couple of your ideas. Yeah,
Good,
sorry, it's
good.
it's a confession.
I'm glad.
Yeah, the place is called Micah's, and we call it Micah's Originals, and it's food that's homemade here in Northumberland, and it's worked dramatically. There are people that come on holiday to Northumberland, and they say, well, we were told by our neighbours who have been on holiday to Northumberland to come and see you because of that, and
Wonderful.
So everything you're saying, Erik, is really true and really works. Thanks, Erik. Now, let me remind our audience of your URL, which obviously, viewers, you can see on the screen behind me. But for listeners, let me spell it out. It's worldfoodtravel.org, worldfoodtravel.org. Go there and find out more about Erik's tremendous activity and how you can broaden your ability on food tourism. I also suggest you sign to be a free member of the Gastro-Terra community that you'll find on his website. Erik is the author of Culinary Tourism, The Hidden. In part 2, I want to talk to you about conscious matters of planet, people, profit, and purpose. Are you up for it, Erik?
Indeed, I am.